Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Young here and welcome to a Metal Gear Solid 5 gameplay analysis. Recently, we were given a very small glimpse of the behind closed doors gameplay presentation that Kojima intends to show at E3 2014. The footage was only a minute and a half, so don't expect to have your mind blown with anything too significant. But we do get to see some new features, along with some similarities and differences between Phantom Pain and Ground Zeroes. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So right off the bat, we can see that a number of gameplay elements from Ground Zeroes are back. First-person shooter mode makes a glorious return, and so does Ground Zeroes' minimalistic user interface. One minor difference is that the MSF logo from Ground Zeroes' weapon icon has been changed to a Diamond Dogs logo, as one would expect. Another difference is the pistol itself. This tranquilizer gun actually has a suppressor on it, and as noted from the bar here, it will wear out after heavy use. This should ensure that players don't go too trigger-happy with the gun, forcing them to choose their targets more carefully. As Snake looks around, we are eventually shown the same white horse that Ocelot rides to rescue Snake from the hospital, and the one that Snake rides into the Afghanistan desert in last year's E3 trailer. Then we get to witness a gameplay element that was sorely missing from Ground Zeroes, the ability to hide inside containers. These kinds of trash bins were scattered all around Camp Omega, but for some reason Ground Zeroes did not allow Snake to hide in them, and it did not allow Snake to hide bodies in them. That all changes in the Phantom Pain, and in large part, this feature was included because of audience feedback. Kojima Productions is actually listening to what people are saying from their experience with Ground Zeroes and adjusting the gameplay accordingly. It's pretty awesome. Now, the location of this gameplay presentation is clearly the Afghanistan desert shown in last year's E3 trailer, although this particular section of the map has never been seen before. And down goes the target, and as you can see, another returning feature is the tagging system from Ground Zeroes. Players can also once again take cover and use the zoom feature to tag targets or scout the area. Now here's a brief glimpse of the weapons that Snake is carrying in this particular demo. Alongside the new tranquilizer gun, we can also see that Snake is carrying familiar weapons like the MRS-4 rifle and the hand grenade. Moving on, we are shown items that Snake is carrying. Particularly interesting is the Phantom cigar item on the left. The item likely refers to the electronic cigar that we see Snake smoking in last year's E3 trailer. My bet is that selecting this item will activate the game's time fast-forwarding feature, since it has been confirmed that this sequence from last year's E3 trailer showing Snake smoking the Phantom cigar is actual in-game footage of the time fast-forwarding feature. I find it interesting that it's called Phantom Cigar. The nomenclature in large part likely has to do with the fact that an electronic cigar makes it feel as though the user is smoking an actual cigar, similar to how Phantom Pain makes it feel as though a missing limb is there and in pain. What are your thoughts? And there's the all-too-famous cardboard box. Fans have clamored for its return since its absence in Ground Zeroes, and it looks like Kojima Productions heard us loud and clear. The description here says that this particular cardboard box is one with a camouflage design. Using it in areas with similar colors to the design will give Snake a higher chance of hiding from enemy sight. Lo and behold, as the description states, there is indeed a camo pattern on the box. Also interesting to note is this logo here. I can't tell if it says QPCS or OPCS, but I've looked up both, and I could not find any agency, organization, or thing with the acronym that is related to Phantom Pain or its era. If you have any idea what the letters are and what the acronym stands for, let us know in the comments below. Keep in mind that this could just be some kind of custom branding for this item for this particular game. Through the box, players can peek through its hole to scout the area, and they can also take advantage of this item to tag targets. A new feature is the ability to place a marker with the binoculars. In Ground Zeroes, markers could only be placed through the eye droid, but in Phantom Pain, players will have a more intuitive and seamless way to do this. And surprise, motherfucker! Oh man, gotta love the confetti-like particles. Yeah, and Kojima said that the game would be super serious. He even said at some point that he'd find a way to make the cardboard box look less ridiculous to match the game's more serious and realistic approach. I think I'm not alone in saying that he's managed the complete opposite. I fucking love it. So down goes the target as laughter ensues in the studio. Now to the left here you will notice a mortar. That's some pretty heavy weaponry. Either these guys are guarding something very important, or they're involved in some kind of conflict. I did some quick research on what was going on in Afghanistan in 1984, and apparently there was some kind of Muslim insurgency against the nation's Soviet-backed government. Perhaps the heavy weaponry has to do with that. Moving on, we get to witness Snake use the cardboard box to perform yet another familiar gameplay feature, holding up enemies. Looks like the cardboard box will be more versatile than ever before. One final interesting thing to note before the presentation comes to an abrupt end is the way the box just vanishes from thin air. I'm not sure if the way the box disappears is just a video gamey visual thing or if it's actually something meaningful. It's just kinda suspicious since this really stands out in a game that is aiming to be realistic. Now, I've heard some crazy MGS5 theories, amongst them being something about the whole thing being some kind of simulation, and I'm sure theorists will point at this for that, but I for now am going under the assumption that it's just a video game thing. What do you think? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my analysis of the brief gameplay presentation shown in Kojima Station. Be sure to let our nation know in the comments below your thoughts on the brief gameplay footage, and let us know if you notice anything that I missed. And to be further updated on Metal Gear Solid 5, be sure to join the nation and subscribe to Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much, and Young out!